Okay, today we're gonna try to be productive and fast because I've got to go meet a friend in 30 minutes. We're gonna try to get them spawning from the right, from the right things. Spawn. I'm calling them spawn point zones, I think. So the first step in ours is going to be to just find the X and Y values for each spawn point. Because right now you can see that they're not coming out of the complete center of these. We need to make sure that when we do have them come out, they're coming out in the right spot. And then we need to do a couple things, making sure that they come from a random spot, a random spawn point. So if we look in our play state, when we press V, here's the X and Y of what we're currently putting them at. So here on our platform 2, we need to scoot it over maybe 4 pixels. So let's try this plus 20, and we'll see if this top vulture is in the right spot. Yeah, that looks about right for this top vulture here, right? That looks pretty good. Maybe one more pixel to the right. We'll see what one more pixel to the right looks like, but we might be okay. I think I like it. I like it where it was. So then the platform 3 vulture needs to be where? A little more to the right. Maybe 4 pixels to the right. Just like this one, I guess. So now at least our vultures, that looks pretty good. Okay. Now we need platform or spawn point 2, what I'm calling. I guess I'm calling the platform spawn points. This will be 1, this will be 2, this will be 3, this will be 4, just because it's kind of how you read a book. 1, 2, 3, 4. So those are platform spawn points. We need platform spawn point 2 now. So if this is the right X and Y for our first 2, we want to figure out where our other ones are. So instead of platform 2, we want it to be platform 3L or something like that. No. I'm trying to remember how I separated the platforms, but it's platform 1, platform 1L, platform 1, platform 2, platform 3, so the end of platform 3. So we hit V. See, but this was already on platform 3. So it's platform 4, platform 4L. So platform 4L, and then it's going to be platform 4L's X plus its width, platform 4L width minus the 26 that the platform is, plus minus another couple, so maybe 30. And then platform 4L's Y. We're gonna have to change our vulture class a bit. Okay, so look, if it needs to be to the right, maybe another 2 or 3 pixels to the right. We'll see what 3 pixels to the right looks like. Yeah, that looks good for platform spawn point 2 or spawn zone 2. And then we would need the last one, which, no, not the last one, just the next. Hold on a sec. I'm gonna put these in order of what they are. So I'm gonna say that goes there, because that's the second spawn point. That's the third spawn point. This will be the last and final spawn point. This one's on the ground. So we know the ground one is a certain amount. We can check where the X is, fairly no problem, but this Y is gonna be the ground platform Y. Okay. And this is where we need to change our ostrich class, because we don't see we give in the same parameter twice. We shouldn't ever do that. We shouldn't need to ever do that if it's going to be the same. So we'll modify those parameters in our vulture class after we've got all the values we need. So for the X for this one, I'm going down to here and seeing that we're drawing our X here. So this will be the starting point for the X of our platform spawn zone 4. We'll just need to offset it a couple more pixels, maybe 4 more pixels to the right. So maybe we minus 31 here. Let's see. Booyah, yeah. 1 more pixel to the right, I think. So, minus 30. Okay. That looks good to me. Okay. All the platform spawn zones look good to me. For now, I'm gonna keep on the original ones I had on. Turn off the original ones I had off. But these are the 4 values. Actually, more specifically, X and Y. We need to store, so here's what we need to do. Next is give ourselves a new class, right? So if we make ourselves a new file and we save it as spawn zone points. Spawn zone points. This is a class. Okay. But first of all, we need to save it as a Lua file. So if we save it here, now we've got a spawn zone points Lua. It should be spawn point because the class is just referencing one spawn point. Okay, let's retry this. We're gonna be spawn zone point dot Lua. Save. Okay. Now this thing called spawn zone point inherits class attributes, I guess it's called. And we need 3 functions for it. We have a init for it. We have an update and a render, but we won't need to update it because it doesn't change. So we can probably get away with just doing the two here, which is a render function and an init function. And then here's where we need to put all of our info of our x and y's, right? So we're gonna say, oh, actually, yeah, it's a little different than this. If we open up, where's our spawn point? We actually need to say that this gets initialized with a parameter, an x and a y, and then its x inherits the parameter, and its y inherits the y parameter. And I think that's all we need. So all spawn zone point is just 2 points, an x and a y of where our spawn zone, where it's just one spawn zone where we can, spawn from. So it's really simple. I think that's the entirety of the class there. If we look at our ostrich class, we got the same kind of deal at the beginning here. Ostrich inherits class, we got an init. We won't need an update function for ours, but now if we go here, we need to, either in our play state or in our main or something, we need to give us a table of the spawn zone points, right? So we need to say spawn zone points. So spawn zone points with an S is a different title than our spawn zone point class, because that is the table we're actually going to store all the objects of our spawn zone points in. So now we can say we want to hard code in the values. We'd want to hard code in the values with instantiations of our class, which has 2 values. That way we can do a math.random on the indexes of this table and get not only one x position, but a corresponding y position for it as well. So we'll just plug and play the spawn zone point without an S with curly braces here. That's now an instantiation, and it takes 2 arguments, an x and a y. We give it the first argument, give it the second argument, and then that should be good. And then same deal, x comma y, then same deal, x and a y, then last one, x and a y. So now, instead of when we do this, either when we die or when we press V to reset our vultures, which won't be in the final game, it's just us for testing purposes, just to show you, when we instantiate a vulture, instead of putting in these weird X's and Y's, we still need to refactor this one out, and that's okay, but we need to put, instead of doing these random numbers, random values, we can put platform spawn point dot x, platform spawn point dot y, or whatever. But we need to give it a random one too, so there's a little more to it than that. But shoot, I'm not gonna have time to finish this before I gotta go to Scotty's, I don't think. We'll try. So we've got the parameters that get passed in get assigned to its object, which is perfect. We need to go fix this. So look, where do we use this platform spawn y? Because we should just be using, let me see. Platform spawn y. Okay. Okay. Okay, so this is a little different. It's almost like we might actually need this still, because if we only reference it to our self y, which are initially the same, our self y gets moved up when we're spawning. But that's the value we're checking against to see if we're all the way upwards. So since we're modifying the y, we can't just use the same y. So I think that's okay. I don't like that it's the same initial value, but I think it's okay. So we're almost there. We've got, now we need to add the random aspect of it, right? Let's try it for us first, because there's only one of us. So if we die, right? If we die, we reinstantiate here, but we don't want this x and y. We want I'm gonna save this original line, but we need to do something special here, and we need to say that this, like, x is gonna be it's a spawn zone points table at a random index. So a math.random index, and the random index is going to be spawn zone point of our table. So if we do this, hashtag will give us, it's basically, it's called a unary operator, I think. That's not what I wanted to do. Let me see what unary means. Just one, right? It acts upon a single operand. So yeah, it's a type of operator that just works on one value or whatever, one operand rather. So by saying the hashtag, it's gonna take this spawn zone points table, which is where we have all of our values, all of our instantiation of our x and y's of all of our spawn zone points. And then it's basically saying, give us a random number between 1 and 4. And then we're putting that random number into an index, and that index will index into our table and give us a dot x and a dot y. So we can go into the field x upon our random index of our zone points table. I think that could work. And then we'll need something similar here. The y, first of all, we need to get from our spawn zone points table a random index. No, it's not a random index. It's actually the same index. It's the same index as this. So it's almost like, actually, yeah. How do we do this? Because yeah, we want the same index. Let me see what happens if we do the same code because since it's running on the same frame, our math.random might actually give us the same number on that same frame. So we might not need to worry about that being different, but we'll see. So math.random of our 4 spawn zone points items. So that'll give us a random number between 1 and 4, which indexes us into our spawn zone points table, at which point we need to access the Y field for our Y of our vulture upon death. So now if we get killed by vulture, spawn zone point to nil value, play state 12. We didn't require our class here. So we need to require our spawn zone points. Spawn zone point without an s.lua file before we can actually use that function. Ground platform and nil value, place state 15. Ground platform. Our ground platform doesn't get set until right here, so we'll just move this entirety down to the bottom, I guess. We could move the other one up, which we might do, but... Okay, so now when I die, I'm hoping to come from a random spawn point. I'm hoping the X and Y is aligned. Will just kill me. Kill me. Okay, that didn't work. But it didn't work at all. Why would... Okay, it's not working. It's not working. And I have no idea. We hard-coded in the spawn zone points. So what if we just say, you know, we test this, say, screw you math.random, just put us at the first index, which is our very topmost spawn zone. So put us at spawn zone 1, X and spawn zone 1, Y. Oh, and you know what? I'm a little confused why we would need a platform spawn Y for our vultures, but not for our ostrich. So I'm actually curious how we implemented it for the ostrich. We have if self.y is just, you know, we modify our y's or higher, and then we have a spawn height. I don't think this spawn height oh, okay. That's the offset for the viewport. I want to maybe try to refactor our vulture class to be more like our ostrich class here, because we don't use the platform spawn Y. We just say, hey, move us up, increase our viewport. I'm almost curious where we use the spawn height again here. You have it 8 times. We set the viewport to the spawn height. Really? Since when did I add a weird 0 here? So when we die, it's just weird that we should be coming out of the top platform when we die, but we're not at all. So I'm confused. Because when we died there, we should have gone to the top platform. We've got it hard-coded. We've got it hard-coded at 1. X and Y upon dying, right? So if we're dead and we have lives, take away a life, give us a new one. So what if we do a spawn point 2, which should be the left spawn point? If we die, oh god, just kill me. Oh god, I'm so good at this game. Oh, just kill me. Kill me. Kill me. That's, at least it's got its X right, you know, it put me at the left side at the X in the right position, but not of the Y. So maybe our Y is getting messed up somehow. We're putting our Y, platform 3's Y, or here, platform 4, Y. Shoot. 2.y. Not exactly sure how that's messing up. Our Y position just isn't being set correctly, but we do put it in there correctly. We put in the Y field of our spawn points 2. So I guess the question is, if we print this up, what does it say? We're going to print up the Y of spawn zone point 2, and we're going to put it at 5 and 15, and we're going to concatenate to a string the spawn zone 2 Y. And if this is ground level, we know we're fucked up, but it should be higher than ground level. It doesn't really help us because it'll be numbers, so we, 122 is 122 the spawn zone 2's Y. Let's see where we draw the second one. See, we have it. Platform 3Y. Platform 3Y is 144. Not 122. Why is it giving us platform 4? Platform 4's Y. Spawn zone 2 is platform 4Y. The platform 4 is, this is platform 1, 2, 3, and 4Y. So yeah, so platform 4Y is 122, so that's correct. But how come when we die, we don't go to that Y? We go to the X. What the fuck? There must be a thing in our ostrich class we might be overriding with the ground level. I don't know. I've got to head out. I've got to go drive to Scotty. It sucks to leave this unfinished, but we are making progress. And I wasn't really feeling coding today, but at least we got something. I mean, we tried. The goal is to get even just 5 minutes every day, just to keep programming. So we're going to commit everything with a message saying, starting to add spawn zone points. And then we'll get pushed to our origin main. Okay, so next episode we'll continue to do this. We'll keep troubleshooting it. I feel like there's something in our either play state or our ostrich class that's messing with our Y, locking our Y to be the very beginning when we start. Because we should just be able to be put anywhere, but I don't think that's the case right now. So You know what, we can maybe test it too. We can say, right now we can test it where once we die, I think that's in our play state. Once we die, look, if we hard code this to be 100 or like even 10, when we die, if we hard code it to 10, it should put us very close to the top of the screen when we die. And it doesn't. So that tells you right there that this is being overwritten somewhere, which was my I thought it would mess up like that because we knew we had the correct Y position here. So we just have to dig through, make sure we're not overriding our initial Y spawn point for our ostrich here somewhere and figure that out. And then we'll apply it to all our vultures. But yeah, I'm gonna call it a day there. At least we got some programming done. Thanks for watching.